Last year, the world lost a giant, and many of us in this room lost a good friend. We are all here gathered tonight because of the vision and the leadership and the generosity of one man, and that man is Hank McCamish. And I can't think of a better person to pay tribute and honor the memory of Hank McCamish than a member of our Board of Trustees, Gordon Beckham. Gordon?
Thank you, Kelly. And I'd like to just reiterate our appreciation for all of you being here tonight. You have very busy lives and you have families to tend to, and we appreciate you taking time out of that to be here tonight. It's indeed an honor for me to have the opportunity to say a few words about my dad, Hank McCamish, founder of the Georgia Public Policy Foundation, an extraordinary father and role model, a loving husband, a proud grandfather, legendary insurance executive, a man of ironclad faith, and a generous philanthropist. He married my mother when I was 7 years old. What a blessing for her and me. He was truly an incredible man, one of those larger-than-life individuals whose mere presence transformed the nature of any gathering, whether it's a business function or a social function. And let me be crystal clear. His was a presence of quiet gravitas, not self-promotional fanfare. I could speak at length on any of the human dimensions just mentioned, but in light of tonight's program, let me speak a little bit about the American dream and his place in it. Just to level set, by American dream, I mean that national ethos of the United States of America, that belief in and respect for a set of noble ideas in which freedom includes the opportunity for prosperity, success, and upward social mobility, achieved through hard work, not circumstances of birth or social class. The opportunity for prosperity, not a guarantee, through hard work, not a handout. Dad was born on November the 11th, 1928 in Greenville, South Carolina, the youngest of 3 children. His parents, while long on love, did not possess high school diplomas. The family moved to Greenwood, South Carolina in 1938, where his dad worked in a textile mill as a laborer, not a manager. The population of Greenwood County in 1940 was approximately 40,000 people. The town of Greenwood, half that size. Dad went to the only high school in Greenwood, Greenwood High. Not quite the caliber of Westminster, Lovett, Pace, or any other blue blood prep schools of Atlanta. From a worldly, material perspective, he came from nothing. And I believe it was precisely this void that drove his work ethic, which was indomitable. From Greenwood, South Carolina and Greenwood High School, he somehow ended up in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. We don't know how. But unlike me or my contemporaries, or my children and theirs, his parents could not afford college, so he had to work to earn the privilege to go to college. Before football games at Grant Field, he handed out cigarette samples to fraternity boys and sorority girls. During the games, he sold programs. His first job out of college was as a floor covering salesman. The state of Georgia was his territory. His responsibility was to build a book of business by calling on hardware and building supply stores. No one worked harder than Dad. At some point, his book of business was sufficiently developed that he began to earn a respectable stream of commissions. His boss, however, determined he was making too much money and cut the size of his territory. I recall Dad telling me that he quit and why, saying no one was going to limit his success or the amount of money he could earn. He quit selling linoleum and started selling life insurance for Mass Mutual in the mid-1950s. Before his 10th anniversary with the company, he had been named their Man of the Year twice. In relatively short order, his life insurance clients graduated in complexity and size from individuals like you and me to closely held corporations to Fortune 100 conglomerates. When the most sophisticated purchasers of life insurance contracts demanded uniquely priced and designed products commensurate with their purchasing power, Dad quit his lucrative brokerage business in the mid-1980s when he was 57 years old to form a company solely focused on servicing the needs of the large corporate buyer. He conceived and designed the products. He built the administration platform. He created the service model. And he built the distribution platform. In a matter of 5 years, this startup had generated in excess of $1.8 billion of annual recurring premium and over $40 billion of face amount. A stunning and unprecedented success in the life insurance industry, all of which led to generous support of established and greenfield charities and public policy initiatives like the Georgia Public Policy Foundation. But getting back to the American dream, he achieved his prosperity individually by leveraging his brains, his work ethic, and the attributes of a free market society. Contrary to the worldview of certain contemporary politicians, he did, in fact, build his business. The government was not his partner. Nothing was given to him, nor did he feel entitled to gifts. He didn't have a dad with money, connections, or a family business. He did it the old-fashioned way, pioneering new territory on his own, fortified by a relentless determination to succeed. Therein lies the greatness of the American dream in America. A boy from nowhere, USA, with no means, comes to the big city and makes it big, all facilitated by the noble ideals referenced earlier. A society built on individual liberty, free enterprise, and limited government. Unfortunately, these ideals are under insidious attack all across our nation. We are being coerced to buy stuff we don't want. Our businesses are being burdened by job-killing rules and regulations, and government is larger and more intrusive than it has ever been. We are in danger of losing what made this country great. We have a couple of options. We can bitch, moan, complain about the direction of the country and sit back and do nothing. Or we can do something. One thing that I will continue to do is support the Georgia Public Policy Foundation with my money and my time. Thanks so much for being here tonight.